Hey everyone, I'm Sam. Does your MTW have a little bit of play between the upper and lower receiver? I'm going to show you how to fix it on today's What the Tech. AR receiver sets are manufactured with a small degree of tolerance so that once they are anodized, the gun can still be disassembled and serviced. This can cause a little bit of play between the upper and lower. If they were exactly machined, when they become anodized, it could become extremely tight, and taking the body pins out would be almost impossible, and it would almost make it impossible to service your gun. Let's address the myth that receiver play or receiver wobble can affect the accuracy of a firearm. In Airsoft, receiver wobble is only really a problem for AEGs because the gearbox is attached to the lower receiver and the hop-up and inner barrel assembly are all attached to the upper receiver. The MTW works off of the intrinsic alignment principle that real AR-15s work off of. The engine and the hop-up and inner barrel are all housed within the upper receiver. This makes the behavior of receiver wobble not really a performance issue. Some people, though, are bothered by this, as you can tell by the plethora of videos out there from Real Gun Channel that go over products that people make to mitigate this receiver play. Some of these work for the MTW and some of them do not work for the MTW. The AccuWedge and the National Match Shim do not work for the MTW, and let me explain why. The AccuWedge won't work for the MTW because there's additional space that's been machined out for the routing of the airline and the electronics. And the National Match Shim won't work either because where it goes into the upper receiver is where the contact yoke goes. One solution that does work, though, is the Magic Pin, and I have one here from RA Tech. The RA Tech Magic Pin is a replacement for your front body pin. And it'll sit in there, and you take your 3mm hex key, and you just tighten this down. That's not going to move at all. On a few of the MTWs I've tested, it was very difficult to actually open the upper and lower receiver. Like on this MTW, getting the back pin out has become a little more difficult. And it may still hinge, it may not still hinge. So I mean, that moves, but it's not as freely moving. You may like that. I don't like that because that means that there's probably some wear that is being caused on either the pin itself or in the holes where the pin goes. If the Magic Pin, though, doesn't seem appealing to you, there's a couple DIY solutions that you can use, and they work pretty well. A common approach is to use an O-ring on the front lug of the upper receiver. I have a 1.5 by 8 O-ring, and let's see how that does. And yeah, that works pretty good. Let's go on to the next method. 90% of the time, it actually just takes a couple pieces of electrical tape to stop the upper and lower from having play between them. Some people prefer to put it on the upper and some people prefer to put it on the lower. It's really up to you how you want to do it. I would take just a little piece like this and put it right here on the upper receiver. Then layer it up if you still have a little bit more play than you are comfortable with. And the good thing about using electrical tape also is if your front seems very tight and the rear seems loose, well, just put a few pieces here on the rear and you should be good to go. One last method that's actually specific to the MTW is the receiver retention screw. This will work with some of the MTWs, but not all of the MTWs. The MTWs that it won't work with are the 308 or the shotgun. Take off the pistol grip, but the best way to tell is if your MTW has this little hole right here. Now note, this, if you have your wires ran to your buffer tube, you're not going to be able to do that anymore. You will have to run them to your pistol grip, and that's just because of the way that the receiver screw sits in there. And then you take a 1/8 hex key and this screw. Let us get it started and just screw it in. The hole that it comes out is directly underneath the back lug. So the screw going in provides tension on the back lug. Tighten it down a little bit till you feel it hit and just go a little more. And then, yeah, that's got it really solid. There's barely any movement there. Actually, there's no movement there. And another thing that this will cause is it causes the back lug to be a little tighter and makes the back body pin just a little harder to get out. Remember how I did with the Magic Pin? So you're gonna probably have to have something to help push that back lug out. That is one solution to mitigate or eliminate the receiver play. But you still may run across a little bit of this along the front. You could use the tape or the O-ring methods that I went over to help eliminate that if that bothers you. Well, folks, there you have it. I hope that I was able to arm you with a little bit of knowledge about receiver play and what you can do to eliminate it or help mitigate it. If you liked the video, please hit like, subscribe, comment, share this with your friends. Ding the little bell to get notified the next time we release a video. And hey, we'll see you on the field.